Log on to yourpower.org for more connections.
All right. We're here in Atlanta, Georgia, down here at the National Black Chamber of Commerce Annual Conference 2023. And we're so delighted we got a chance to run across Frank Stokes. Now, I looked at his resume. I saw him on the speaker lineup. I reached out to him, and he was just happy to come down. And Frank, thank you for joining us on the Power Tour.
Well, thank you very much, Jonathan, for asking me to be with you today. I've been having a great time. This is an excellent conference, and what I see is the meeting of the minds for great things in the future.
Yeah. So Frank, just tell us a little bit about yourself. You told me that you come from Los Angeles.
Yeah, I'm here from Los Angeles, and again, I was invited to come and speak.
Okay.
But just a little bit about me is what I've done for over 30 years is I help entrepreneurs. What do you mean by that? I said, well, I've assisted them with business planning and strategies, helping them find money. Capital access is a big issue. And I established a program many years ago at Camino College known as the Business Entrepreneurial Success Training, the acronym BEST, or the BEST program. This was originally designed for dislocated aerospace workers. There was thousands of workers being laid off at the time. A good number of them didn't care to go back to find another job. They wanted to pursue their dreams. So this was an 8-week program, and it was the only program approved by the state of California where a person could, if they were laid off, the state would pay for their training, and they could still receive unemployment benefits while they were in training. And we graduated more than 750 folks through there, and I'm still in touch with some of those folks now. They'll call me, they're on their third business, or they have a question about something, or I'll see people at the airport or the restaurant, and they're telling me what they're doing, and it's been very rewarding.
Wow.
To be a part of something.
So you've been in workforce development and those pipelines as well as helping entrepreneurs.
Well, I started in workforce development through the Camino College, through this program.
Okay.
And so they were the funding agents. For funding agents was workforce development.
Wow.
And so what they called in California was iTrain. It's a state training platform where anyone that's laid off, if they qualify for California training benefits, then they can receive the training. And as I said, the BEST program was the only entrepreneurial program that was authorized by the state
of California. Wow. And nowadays they're just authorizing them left,
That's what I'm saying.
Left and right. You were doing it when nobody was really thinking about it.
Nobody was even thinking about it. And we used to even have questions at the outset as, does anybody really want to do this? But all the powers, they believed in the program, and we became a nationally recognized award-winning program, and we became the model for like San Antonio, Texas. People would send people. We were having people from the Bay Area come, and they would sit in and try to get an idea of what was taking place there.
Wow, that's interesting because there is a organization by the name of Black United Front out of Detroit.
Okay.
And I believe they're a national organization, and they support an aerospace program out there. Actually, I believe we have an aerospace school, high school, out in Detroit.
Okay.
But it's interesting how it's a lot of people like yourself that have been doing things over the years.
Right.
And some people think they're doing something new, and they're doing nothing but trying to reinvent the wheel. They're not even reinventing their wheel. They're just resurfacing the wheel.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And we actually introduced the metrics for success because nobody really understood how can you determine that what are the outcomes.
Yeah.
And so we said it's really easy. It's business licensing, whether incorporation registrations, things like that. When you have a business bank account, when you're filing taxes, these are only a business would do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we established that metric. There's some other things, but I'm just saying they gave them an idea of how do you measure this, because it was not just or you got a job, that kind of, it was totally different. So once they understood it and they could measure it, it made sense.
So tell us a little bit more about the clients that you're helping nowadays through your consulting company, I believe.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about some of the projects that you're coming across, or some of your passions now that you kind of got out of that workforce development component.
Yeah. Well, it's what has happened is I did the same thing for West Los Angeles College that I did for El Camino College.
Wow.
And then after that, I moved on with what is known as the Best Mobile Accelerator.
Okay.
Now this stuff, you don't have to qualify for funding for that. And I looked at that and some of our collaborators, and I said, I want to really create something that's accessible to just anyone, where they don't have to qualify to be eligible.
Yeah.
So the Best Mobile Accelerator is a derivative of the BEST program.
Yeah.
And it's using technology, more technology oriented. We used technology before, but this is really focused on remote learning. And so I've worked with several nonprofits there in Los Angeles to help facilitate this. And we run about four cohorts a year, all kinds of businesses. I'll give you an idea. Music promotion was one.
Okay.
This gentleman had a background in the music industry, but he was establishing his own company, had some certain level of success. But after graduating from the Best Mobile Accelerator, he's a multimillionaire business.
That's some good stuff. That's some good stuff. Well, we know that you've been helping some individuals, but before we leave you, because we don't never want to hold anybody too long, and we want to leave more for our listeners.
I'm good for time.
We want to leave more for our listeners to follow up with you, and hopefully you can capture some of the things that you're doing out there in Los Angeles whenever we make it out that way. But we just want to leave our listeners with maybe one important mentor that you had, as well as one important resource that you found very pivotal in your journey.
Okay, well, there's a couple of things. One is I've had a couple of very important, pivotal people that helped me in my walk. Now, one I have to say is Clarence Cross. I met Clarence. Well, I have to go back one more. This was a gentleman, Frank Harrison.
Wow.
When I was in high school, my focus was drafting, and he was my drafting instructor, and he paved the way for me to have a job right out of high school. So, in other words, I graduated Friday, and I reported to my job Monday because of him. He opened some doors for me. This taught me a lot as a kid, because just think about how long that would have taken me to accomplish as a kid at 17, right?
Yeah.
And so I really appreciated him always, and I, stayed in touch with him. He passed eventually, but in high school assembly, he gave me his drafting set.
Wow.
Which in front of the whole student body, saying that that I was the person that passed it on to him. That was a great honor.
Yeah.
And then after I got, I worked at the Air Force. I worked for the Air Force. That's where he got me to work at the Air Force Base there. I'm from Dayton, Ohio. And he had me working at Wright-Patterson Base as a trainee. Space civil engineering. I was working with architects. The one architect that I reported to was a graduate of Tuskegee.
Wow.
And he'd come around and give me instruction about my job and what I had to do. And he came by and chat one day. He said, "So why didn't you go to college?" I said, "Well, my parents couldn't afford for me to go to college, so that's why I'm working." And he said, "But if you could go to college, would you?" I said, "Yeah, if I could go, sure, I'd go." So, a few weeks later, he's chatting, he comes by, and he says, "So you remember you said that if you could go to college, you would. Is that true?" I said, "Yeah, I would go to college if I could." He said, "Well, you can. I got you a scholarship to Tuskegee."
Wow.
I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, I got you a scholarship. I talked to the Alumni Association, and we've arranged for you to go to Tuskegee." And, man, that was life-changing for me.
Wow. I could just see how that pivotal moment touched so many more lives years later.
That's what I'm saying. That changed the trajectory of my life.
Wow.
Because that was something I didn't really think I could do.
Yeah.
Right?
But somebody believed in you enough.
Saying. So that's what I'm saying, is that all of us, what I learned from that, and we talked, these two gentlemen I'm talking to you about, we talked through the years, and I've learned so much from them about helping somebody else.
Yeah.
See, these guys were looking for somebody they could help,
Yeah.
right? And we should be doing the same thing. So
Exactly.
that set me in motion. One of the first things I did was I helped my brother to get to Tuskegee. So I was following with what I had learned.
Yes, sir.
So I helped him to come, and he graduated in accounting, and he lives here in Tuskegee, and he's here. He came to visit me while I'm here, and we're gonna hang out and stuff. But I'm just saying, when you help somebody, you can help change the trajectory of somebody's life.
Yes, you can.
And so in the years I've mentored many young people, men and women, and I've told them that people are always looking at you for two things. There's one group, one person is looking for you, waiting for you to make a mistake. The other person is looking at you to see if they can help you or not. So I said, in any case, make sure they're right.
Yeah. Well, Frank, this has been it's been eye-opening for me because it's many times that I come across individuals, I know they have great stories, but when you hear them, it changes your total perception of, and it gives you a humbling experience to know that there's others out there with your same mindset and wanting to help other people. And so
that's why we're here, man. We're here to help somebody else. I think some people lose sight of that.
Yeah.
And I've heard, whenever I hear, especially some adult that I know, and they're saying something like, well, they got to get theirs, I got mine. I say, you're just lying, man, because somebody helped you.
Yes, they did.
You just got to show it. Yeah, nobody does anything by themselves.
Yes, sir.
Somebody wrote a letter. Somebody gave you a job. Somebody did something. They opened the door for you in one way or another.
Yes,
right?
sir.
You didn't do anything by yourself.
Well, we definitely thank you for your time, Mr. Stokes. We definitely will make sure that all of our listeners has a way to get to your websites and understand how to get to you.
Okay.
But we thank you for your time. We thank you for allowing.
Thank you for having me.
For stopping by the Power Tour. We're here at the National Black Chamber Conference 2023. And listen, Frank, if there's anything that we can ever do for you, feel free to reach out and ask. But we thank you for your time.
I'll take you up on that.
Be sure to connect with Frank Stokes and more at yourpower.org. That's yourpower.org, where we connect goals with opportunities.